ID au passport yako kwa afisa wa IBC. Waweza pia kucheki details zako kwa kutuma nambari ya ID au passport hashtag na mwaka wa kuzaliwa kwa SMS 70000 au tovuti verify.iebc.or.ke. Iwapo details zako si sawa, tembelea kituo ulikojiandikisha au ofisi ya IBC katika eneo bunge lako. Kuwa sure na details zako. IEBC, your vote, your future.
Uchaguzi utakuja, utaenda, utakuja tena na utaenda. Kenya itabaki milele. Together we can make peace win in our elections. Not as one class, but as one nation. This message is brought to you by the government of Kenya.
To get John chapter 11 as your skiza tune, dial *811 *965#.
I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me will live, even though they die. John chapter 11, verse 25.
To get John chapter 11, dial *811 *965#. To get John chapter 11, dial *811 *965#.
Furahia maisha bora, linda jamii.
Banki imeconfirm pesa zimeingia. Congratulations Sam, gari ni lako sasa.
Shukran. Oi boss, suniache insurance yako nitumie kabla nijipange.
We,
insurance ya gari haiwezi kuwa transferred kwa mtu mwingine.
Sina habari na nikuulize, hii comprehensive insurance inakava vitu gani?
Comprehensive motor insurance inakava gari linapoharibika wakati wa ajali pamoja na uharibifu wa mali ya mtu mwingine, gari likiibiwa au likichomeka. Pia inakava passenger wa gari lako na passenger wa lile gari lingine kunapotokea ajali.
Kwani umenisahau mimi kama driver?
Dereva hakui covered na comprehensive insurance, ila anajitafutia personal accident cover.
Umenichanua. Rose,
yes.
Acha nishughulikie hiyo insurance, nitakujia gari kesho.
Okay, sawa.
Chukua maneno.
Good evening and welcome to the broadcast. Tonight we got a comprehensive news bulletin lined up ahead for you. President Uhuru Kenyatta is in Geneva, Switzerland. We'll be letting you in on what he said concerning the ongoing war against COVID-19. Plus, in our country, the vote hunting mission for Kenya Kwanza in Nakuru County, Azimio la Umoja, was still in Narok County. We'll be letting you in on what these two political alliances were up and about doing in this weekend, lined up ahead in our comprehensive news bulletin that begins right now. But first, let's get our top stories. A red card campaign is launched to bar leaders with integrity issues from getting elected. President Uhuru Kenyatta lauds collaborative efforts by countries around the world in managing the COVID-19 pandemic. Azimio la Umoja leader Raila Odinga promises to improve the livelihood of Kenyans within the first 100 days in government. Deputy President William Ruto promises to revive the economy if his Kenya Kwanza team forms the next government. Once again, welcome to the broadcast. John Jacob Kere is away tonight. My name is Serfine Achieng, doing this together with Lensa Odingo, our sign language interpreter. Later, we'll be joined by Richard Munga on the sports news. But now let's begin with our top story. President Uhuru Kenyatta has hailed the collaborative efforts by countries around the world in managing the COVID-19 pandemic. Speaking during the 75th World Health Assembly in Geneva, Switzerland, the head of state also commended health workers for going against all odds to mitigate the spread of the deadly virus. President Kenyatta has called for further investments in innovations for dealing with neglected tropical diseases such as malaria. President Uhuru Kenyatta joined other global leaders at the World Health Complex in Geneva, Switzerland for the 75th World Health Assembly. It was here that the head of state commended the collaborative efforts by countries around the world and the World Health Organization in managing the COVID-19 pandemic.
In this year, commemorating the healthcare workforce, I would be remiss not to mention the dedication and commitment of all our health and other essential workers throughout this crisis. Throughout this pandemic, WHO has been instrumental in galvanizing the actions of governments, scientists, development partners, and the public in taking actions that were needed to contain the transmission of COVID-19.
President Kenyatta also pointing out that the pandemic has necessitated the emergence of several local manufacturers of health products and technology, calling for strategies to be put in place to ensure their sustainability.
The pandemic, however, also exposed the over-dependence of developing countries to external markets, thereby hampering efforts to ramp up production of the necessary health products as well as technologies. To support the sustainability of new manufacturing initiatives, all stakeholders must come together to address the financing, coordinated technology transfer, including affirmative action, as well as market access for locally manufactured products.
He further advocated for a change of strategy in combating neglected tropical diseases such as malaria.
In 2020, there was a rise in the global burden of malaria, with an estimated 627,000 deaths and 241 million new cases of the disease. No single tool that is available today will resolve the problem of malaria. I therefore call for greater investments in innovations for malaria, TB, HIV, and other neglected tropical diseases.
This year's session is the first in-person health assembly since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic and is being held under the theme Health for Peace, Peace for Health. Now back into the country, the National Integrity Alliance is now calling on Kenyans not to elect leaders with questionable integrity in the August polls. The alliance says that the election of such leaders has led to the country losing almost a third of its budget annually to corruption, while ballooning the public debt and spiraling inflation. Zainab Said reports.
With 78 days left before Kenyans head to the ballot box, the National Integrity Alliance is asking Kenyans to desist from electing leaders with integrity queries come August 9th.
Let us just do it now and deny anyone who has been charged in court that opportunity to remain at the ballot and seek another public office or the same public office.
The alliance that comprises Transparency International Kenya, Inuka Kenya ni Sisi, Mzalendo Trust, the Institute for Social Accountability, and the Kenya Human Rights Commission have, however, called on the electoral body to ensure such leaders are locked out of the ballot.
It looks like it's a difficult battle, but it's a battle we must fight.
How do you legitimize of people who've plundered public resources to oversee our taxes, the budget that we have at the county, the budget that we have at the national level?
They said while some of the leaders have cases pending in court, others had already been impeached.
In 2017, we red-carded 20 individuals that should not have been cleared to participate in that general election on grounds of integrity and corruption. Some of those red-carded who were unfortunately elected, such as Ferdinand Waititu, former Kiambu County Governor, Mike Sonko, former Nairobi County Governor, and Zechariah Okoth Obado, Migori County Governor, and Anne Waiguru, Kirinyaga County Governor, were eventually impeached.
To ensure such leaders do not go through, the alliance says it has filed a petition in court seeking clarification on the minimum integrity threshold and also calling on Kenyans to rally behind them for the next 70 days under the launched Red Card Campaign 2022.
And we ask the public to sign the petition, which we will present together with a list of red-carded individuals to the EACC and the IEBC. We must hold all current and aspiring leaders accountable to Chapter 6 of the Constitution.
With 78 days left to the general election, the National Integrity Alliance has now thrown a challenge to the electoral body and electorates to ensure that leaders with integrity issues are not elected in office come August 9th. For Sunday Express, I'm Zainab Said.
All right, thank you, Zainab Said, for that report. Staying with matters politics, Deputy President William Ruto says fostering unity and enhancing the economy remains the core agenda that is in line with his bottom-up economic model. Speaking while leading the Kenya Kwanza Brigade in a vote-hunting mission in the Rift Valley region, the DP urged the electorate not to be lured into supporting their opponents, saying his track record in the region puts him ahead.
Rift Valley on Sunday played host to the Kenya Kwanza Brigade as they made stopovers in Uasin Gishu, Baringo and Nakuru counties. Led by the Deputy President William Ruto, the leaders promised an economic revolution if they form the next government. Ruto saying his track record in the region is unmatched.
Kura yenu ni ya kitendawili ama hasla? Kura yenu ni ya nani?
While boasting that Kenya Kwanza commands popularity in Central Region, the leaders told the electorate against shifting their political preference.
Sisi kama Kenya Kwanza tunawapatia message kwamba tutatafuta tujue Wakenya waliingizwa kwa madeni ya aina gani.
Mulikuwa na college 2 peke yake ya teknolojia. Tumejenga college ingine 5 hapa Nakuru County ya teknolojia. Ni kweli ama si kweli? Hapa Nakuru hamukukuwa na ICU. Tumeweka equipment ya milioni 800 katika hospitali ya PGH hapa Nakuru. Ni kweli ama si kweli?
While calling for transparent elections, the leaders tasked the Communications Authority of Kenya to ensure the network is not interrupted. Kamchemenza for Sunday Express.
Now to Kenya, Azimio la Umoja, One Kenya Coalition Party leader Raila Odinga has promised to improve the lives of Kenyans within the first 100 days of his government. Raila, who took his presidential campaigns to Narok County, accompanied by his running mate Martha Karua, said his administration will focus on health, empowerment and eradication of corruption.
Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Party, led by leader Raila Odinga and running mate Martha Karua, held a series of campaigns in Narok County in a bid to woo voters 78 days to the general elections. Raila Odinga explaining his agenda to improve livelihoods of Kenyans through universal healthcare, social protection program and eradicating corruption.
Tunaleta Baba Care. Baba Care. Semeni Baba Care. Kila Mkenya atakuwa chini ya bima ya matibabu. Ili wale ambao hawezi kulipa premium, serikali itawalipia. Ili wakiwa wagonjwa wanapata matibabu hata kama hawana pesa. Wale maskini ambao hawana mapato yoyote, wale jamii watapata msaada kutoka kwa serikali chini ya mpango ya social protection. kila mwezi shilingi 6,000. Tunataka kubadilisha mwenendo ya Kenya. Tutabadilisha mwenendo ili maendeleo yaendelee kwa kasi kabisa.
Leaders accompanying Raila rallied the Narok electorate to vote in Azimio la Umoja government and spoke against their competitors Kenya Kwanza Alliance.
Baba, asante sana kwa mambo ya Mo. Ndio unaona tunaishi sasa, tungekuwa tumekwisha. Nataka kumtambua specifically Tobiko. Waziri Tobiko alifanya kazi nzuri.
Walisema ati mama si agenda, na ndio walikuwa wakisema ya kwamba mama mboga ndio agenda. Munataka kuniambia ya kwamba wale wakisema mama mboga sasa wamesema si agenda? Kwa hivyo agenda yao ni nini?
Tarehe 9 mwezi wa 8 kura zote kutoka juu kwenda mpaka chini ziwe ni kura za Azimio, na tutaanza na Rais Raila Amolo Odinga.
Raila's running mate Mother Karua expressed confidence that the politics of the Mount Kenya region had changed.
Amesema atapambana na wafisadi, wezi wa ardhi, watu wa aina yote wale wanachukua haki yenu. Na mkiniona hapo, mjue mimi sichezi na sicheki masaa ya kazi.
Karua hit the ground running, traversing the Mount Kenya region just a day after she was named Raila Odinga's running mate. Geshoke Washira, Sunday Express.
And former Wajir County Governor Ahmed Abdullahi is promising county residents improvement in service delivery. The gubernatorial hopeful had urged voters to exercise their civil right wisely in the 9th August polls and focus on leaders who are pro-progress. Abdullahi was in the company of his running mate Ahmed Mahmoud in the campaigns with hopes of getting the county seat that was lost to Governor Mohamed Abdi in 2017.
Wajir gubernatorial hopeful Ahmed Abdullahi has faulted the current administration for allegedly failing to build on the transformation programs set up in all 6 sub-counties and basic necessities like water, health and education. He called on the voters to be wise in their choice of leaders in the forthcoming general elections.
Our tagline this year is restoring hope. We will restore Wajir.
Meanwhile, National Assembly Speaker Justin Muturi's coalition agreement with Kenya Kwanza has been declared null and void in a ruling political party's dispute tribunal. Muturi had signed a pact with Kenya Kwanza on behalf of the Democratic Party. A petition against Muturi as the party leader and deal with Ruto was filed by 3 DP party officials, Wambugu Nyamu, Daniel Munene and Kingori Choto, who said his position was against the party constitution that dictates one must be a member for at least a year. Elsewhere, presidential candidate Jimmy Wanjigi and his running mate Willis Achieng attended a church service at St. John's Church, Siaya, where they popularized their campaign pillar of economic growth. The duo promised to revamp Kenya's economy and create more employment for the youth.
We are seeking to bring change to each and every one of our homes.
This, even as retired Bishop of the Katakwa Diocese Zakayo Apus called on the political class to refrain from politicking in the church. The man of cloth further urged politicians to shun divisive politics and be champions of peace.
Ukienda kanisani, toa kofia, kuheshimu Mungu, ili utakapotoka unapata amani.
Finally, Green Thinking Action Party leader Dr. Isaac Kalua is urging Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka to declare a political stand in the run-up to the August 9th general elections.
Aamue kwa mara moja bila kuchelewa tena. Kama anakwenda katika eneo la Azimio, aende kwa mara moja, aende kule ili ashikanishe viongozi wote kwa njia moja ambayo itaweza kuwashikanisha. Kama anania nyingine tofauti ya kwenda kwingineko, basi na aende kule.
Yusufar reporting for Sunday Express.
Now, the community of people living with HIV, together with different stakeholders, have called upon members of the public to take the initiative and end stigmatization in the country. Speaking at the International Candlelit Memorial Day, celebrated every third Sunday of May, the stakeholders noted that stigma hinders their adherence to treatment of HIV and AIDS. Jacqueline Masharia now reports.
And we say that may their indomitable souls.
At the International AIDS Candlelight Memorial, the community of people living with HIV lit their candles as a way to commemorate their loved ones who have succumbed to AIDS-related complications. International Community of Women Living with HIV Kenya chairperson Dorothy Anyango noted that stigma and discrimination has continued to fuel the spread of HIV, noting that it hinders adherence to treatment.
If you stigmatize somebody who is living with HIV, they might not adhere to their medication. They might fear to go to the clinic because they don't know what is going to happen to them. They don't know who is going to point fingers at them. So it is actually the general public, especially people who are not affected with HIV, with our support to ensure that we do not stigmatize or discriminate people living with HIV.
We have made strides. Stigma was worse before. Right now, I can't say it's over, but things are a bit better because people are more informed.
The stakeholders further noted that access to quality healthcare for all, including children, is sometimes compromised by stigma and discrimination.
First way to overcome stigma is self-acceptance. Know that HIV is just a condition that we can live with.
HIV and TB cannot be separated. At some point, most of our population or most of our community have died as a result of TB, which is one of the leading causes for people living with HIV and AIDS. The only way we can end HIV is if we fight TB.
The International AIDS Candlelight Memorial serves as an important platform for global solidarity in breaking down barriers of stigma and discrimination. Among the national heroes honored were Inviolata Mbwavi and Joe Muriuki, who pioneered the movement of people living with HIV in Kenya. Jacqueline Masharia for Sunday Express.
All right, thank you, Jacqueline, for that report. Still lined up ahead in our comprehensive news bulletin, our reporter Yusuf Farah spent a day at the Sera Community Conservancy in Samburu County and filed an interesting report that will show you a special bond between human beings and a black rhino. That report coming up, plus much more we still have lined up ahead for you. Do stay with us as we take this short break.
Hii ng'ombe ni ya asante. Hii ng'ombe itatoa maziwa mengi kabisa. Sasa shida ya school fees imeisha tena. Chukua hii. Hebu nikuulize, hii maneno nasikia ya bima ya elimu inaweza kuonekana mtu anachukua. Process ya kuchukua insurance kapa yote ni rahisi. Hata niko na kapa ya gari yangu. Kwanza unajaza proposal form kama hii na uijaze wewe mwenyewe. Na kama haujui kusoma, uijaze na mtu mwingine. Hakikisha ile majibu umepatiana ni sahihi na ni ya kweli. Pia thibitisha insurance cover imeangalia maslahi yako. Na usiwahi sign proposal form ambayo haijaandikwa kitu chochote. Pia ukumbuke kujitolea photocopy yako. Sasa wacha nianze hiyo process. By the way, ukisubmit hiyo proposal form, uhakikishe umepatiwa policy document. Uisome na uielewe. Hiyo ndio thibitisho ya kuwa una bima.
This could be you, your sister, brother, daughter, son, or a friend. Say no to gender-based violence. Report any form of violence to toll-free number 1195 or to the nearest police station. Be a hero and be safe. This message is brought to you by the government of Kenya.
Mpiga kura upo?
Huu ni wakati wa kucheki kama details zako ziko sawa ndani ya register ya IBC. Tembelea kituo ulikojiandikisha kufikia tarehe 2 Juni mwaka huu na uwasilisha ID au passport yako kwa afisa wa IBC. Waweza pia kucheki details zako kwa kutuma nambari ya ID au passporti hashtag na mwaka wa kuzaliwa kwa SMS 70000 au tovuti verify.iebc.or.ke. Iwapo details zako si sawa, tembelea kituo ulikojiandikisha au ofisi ya IEBC katika eneo bunge lako. Kuwa sure na details zako. IEBC, your vote, your future.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now, in this second part, we take you to the coastal region. Mombasa gubernatorial candidate Hassan Omar Sarai has expressed confidence that he will be elected the next county boss, while downplaying the influence of the Orange Democratic Movement and the entrance of Mike Sonko in the race. Omar said the wind has found his sail and voters in the coastal city are receptive to the change his campaign is now promising. Our coast-based reporter Junei Karisa had a sit-down with the former senator to find out how his United Democratic Alliance will navigate the political tide and upset the status quo in Mombasa County.
Hassan Omar was elected the first Mombasa County Senator in 2013 but chose to seek the gubernatorial seat in the 2017 general elections but lost to Hassan Joho.
In 2017, I could tell that the mood was heavily polarized against me because of the kind of theatrics Joho had been subjected to by Uhuru. So he was extremely popular. Raila Odinga and others came and said, it's looking very bad for you. We need to see whether we can have a pact where you're a senator and Joho is governor. But in my view, I had come through the race to that point, and I could almost tell a Shahabal kind of backlash that he has experienced by trying to pull out of the race when I had raised all these expectations towards the people. And I said, let me put up this fight for the sake that I first wanted to give the people of Mombasa a distinct alternative.
This year, the former senator believes he has a chance to become governor.
We are in a winning formation. The UDA party is strong. The UDA candidate for president is extremely strong. UDA is now the lead party in Mombasa. Therefore, all these factors put together, I believe I'm in a better position than I was last election.
Hassan Omar's United Democratic Alliance recently signed a coalition pact with the Pamoja African Alliance Party, a deal he says will have a huge political advantage for his campaign.
I think I have a greater chance to deliver the governorship than my brother, Professor Kingi, and I will hope that maybe we can have a man-to-man, woman-to-woman, frank conversation about how best we can proceed with a political coalition.
Hassan Omar believes that the entry of Mike Sonko in the fray only works to his advantage.
Outside being an insult that the fellow is an impeached governor who is a failure in all regards, be it politics, be it social, be it in any other gauge or measure of competence, is the fact that he adds a certain spin which I think must be resisted by the people of Mombasa.
He says neither Sonko nor Mvita Member of Parliament Abdul Swamad Sharif Nasir can provide the leadership so much desired by the coastal city.
ODM in the coast region is as good as vanquished. Kenya Kwanza UDA will win the coast region by a significant majority. We will, I think, will outpace ODM in manners that they could not believe.
But who will he pick for a running mate?
My running mate is as well as decided, but I will want to make that announcement in a manner that is more official.
Despite opinion polls placing him a distant third in the race for Mombasa Governor, Hassan Omar believes the final verdict will go his way come August 9th.
I've done well in every opportunity or opposition I've held, and there's no rocket science to being the governor of Mombasa. I will apply the same integrity and the same zeal to serve the people of Mombasa.
Juni Karisa Mbele from Mombasa County for the Sunday Express.
All right, and we'll keep updating you on how the Mombasa County gubernatorial race will continue to shape up and develop. Now, let's take this forward. Sera Community Conservancy in Samburu County plays host to a unique story, that of an abandoned endangered black rhino adopted by a ranger when it was just 9 months old. The rhino, named Loijipu, is currently 6 years old. Our reporter Yusuf Farah spent a day in the conservancy and brings us a report of a special bond between a human being and a black rhino.
Sera Community Conservancy, Samburu County. Salome Lemalasia emerges from the thicket in the company of 2 other rangers. Keenly following her trail is Loijipu, a black rhino that has been under her care from when it was just 9 months old. Loijipu's story is that of a rhino that was abandoned by its biological mother. And found itself in the care of Salome. The ranger tells me that from the day she found the baby rhino, she developed a bond akin to that of a mother and child. Here we get to see where Loijipu has grown up in the company of Salome, who was so into its care to the point of sharing this shed. Salome says she understood the feeding patterns of the rhino, and this helped increase the bond between them.
Nimefanya naye faru tangu akiwa na mwezi 9, so sasa kuna mwaka 6. Akiwa mgonjwa, mimi nitajua kumgonjwa. Kama ana maji ya kunywa, nitajua analia. So vitu mingi tunategemeana naye. Vile nilikuwa namuogopa, nikimwasha anarudi kambi anakuja kulia, mpaka naenda naye malishoni. Tunalala kishaka pamoja. Narudi baadaye kambi jioni pamoja.
Her work is made easier by the 9-1 mobile anti-poaching unit that plays watchdog of the community conservancy with the help of other rangers here. Their efforts are complemented by cameras installed in strategic points across the conservancy to monitor and track activities. No poaching incident has been reported since they came here, thanks to joint efforts between Kenya Wildlife Services, Lewa Wildlife Conservancy, the Sera Community and the Northern Rangelands Trust.
Wakora bado hajakuja hapa sababu anajua hapa iko na security tight sana. Ukiona hapa kwa hii kambi ambayo unaona officers ni mingi sana na iko kila kona.
Right now we are also getting tourism coming to this area, and there is a percentage. There's a 60% go to the community priority and 40% plug back to conservation.
The ranger has a family of her own and has revealed that sometimes a keen expressed fear of the rhino becoming wild and turning on her, an issue that she has dismissed, saying the bond they share supersedes any possibility of Loijipu putting her life at risk.
Sina hofu yote kutoka kwake. Kwa sababu tunaelewana. Namjua wakati kuna hasira, nakaa mbali kidogo na yeye apoe, pia ninamwongelesha mpaka anatuliza.
Salome's father calling on poachers to refrain from the vice and join the community conservancy in different capacities.
Wanyama wametuinua kimaisha, kama Sera nenda mbali sana, inajulikana Sera. Pia wanyama wamesaidia community, wametusaidia pia sisi tukiwashunga. So tungependa poaching iko pande kwetu. Nikienda kumtafuta kwa kishaka, hata kama simuone lakini naona nyaya yake ni fresh, iko karibu. Nikimuita tu Loijipu, anasikia anakuja mahali niko. Lakini mtu mwingine akimuita hawezi, kama anaelewa sauti yangu.
The Sero Community Conservancy is home to 19 endangered black rhinos with a breeding sanctuary for the animals. As for these two, their story continues to unfold. Loijipu is currently 6 years old and one of the most endangered rhino species in the world. Her adoptive mother Salome hopes by the time she is let into the wild fully, she will be able to fully take on the wild independently. Yusufar reporting for KBC Channel 1 from the Sero Conservancy, County of Samburu.
My Child Loijipu, an interesting feature there by Yusuf Faradan in Samburu County. Thank you, Yusuf, for that. Now, across the counties, 26 families in Sabaki Estate in Machakos County whose houses were gutted down by fire have received donations of food items from gubernatorial aspirant Wavinya Ndeti to help with their upkeep. A child's life was cut short and another one is receiving treatment in a nearby health facility after sustaining serious burns as a result of the fire.
The affected families are still reeling with shock of the fire tragedy that woke them at night. Speaking after donated food items to the affected families, Machakos County gubernatorial aspirant Wavinya Ndeti condoled the families, saying that the fire could have been caused by an electric fault.
Hawajui moto ulitokana na nini, wengine wanasema ni stima, na tukiangalia hakuna gasi lilipuka. Pengine huu moto ulitokana na upande wa stima, na ndio nawauliza watu wetu tuangalie tu tukiconnect electricity, tuhakikishe tumeita watu wa Kenya Power wakuja watu connectie vizuri, ndio tusipate madhara kama haya tumepata.
Meanwhile, Empowerment Liberation Party gubernatorial aspirant Dr. Rose Mulwa from Machakos County has urged women to support fellow women by voting in large numbers for women vying for various leadership roles.
Women, we are the majority according to the census. Yes. And what I'm saying, women, we do not need money to put women in office. Yes. We are the numbers. So we are the majority. Yes.
She, however, condemned those hurling insult at Martha Karua following her appointment as Raila Odinga's running mate. Elsewhere, hairdressers and beauticians in Nkubu town have pulled resources to enable a needy boy join Form 1 at Nkubu Boys High School.
Na si kumsomesha mpaka just only Form 4. Hata pahali anataka kuenda, hata kitaka kuenda ng'ambo, we are here sababu haitishwi chochote na tunatumaini ya kwamba afanye vema zaidi. The reason why atakuwa ameweka msingi mzuri kwa watoto hao wandogo wengine na hata kwa the society that we are in, at least tujue ya kwamba tumeinua kwa upande mmoja ama mwingine.
Brian Mawiro, whose admission was delayed due to lack of fees, can now pursue his dreams of becoming an engineer courtesy of Nkubu hairdressers. And in Turkana County, persons living with disability held a peaceful protest to urge politicians to conduct peaceful campaigns ahead of elections.
Sisi tunatangaza amani kabla, siku na baada ya uchaguzi ili kwamba tuwe na amani, kura ya amani.
Elvis Otieno for Prime Edition.
Now, the use of biotechnology in organic waste management is gaining traction in environmental conservation. Many farmers and industries are gradually looking towards locally produced bacterial solutions to clean their workplaces and contain pollution. On the process this week, Nisi Imano breaks down the stages in which bacteria is turned into safe and affordable agent of environmental conservation.
The air we breathe is teeming with more than 1,800 kinds of bacteria. Here in Kitengela, this company uses bacteria for waste management, recycling, and resource management.
This is EcoSave Africa, where Daniel Wanjuki is the director. Even the dust that we breathe in contains bacteria, but the kind of bacteria this company needs is in the classification of bacillus that are safe to work with.
Our bacteria is very natural, locally sourced, and it has no pathogenic effect. It does not cause diseases. It does not interfere with the environment. We actually are able to using our technology to actually help restore the ecosystem.
It is first harvested from soil that has not been cultivated or disturbed by any agricultural activity.
We call it pristine soil. We normally get this from forest or areas that have not been cultivated or irrigated or such. And when you get the bacteria, a small sample, which could be 1 inch cubic, we can be able to isolate the bacteria we want from that soil.
The soil is then taken to the lab for testing.
It's possible to tell the character of the bacteria from the microscopic examination.
The desired bacteria is then extracted and bred in bathtubs, known as vats.
Why we use them is because with bacteria, there's a lot of corrosion that would take place. You could see a lot of that happening on the metal. If you used metallic containers, they would all be worn out. What we are using is fiber, and it is safe for the bacteria. Again, the other reason why we use this material is that it is able to maintain temperature within a certain level. So we don't get a lot of temperature variations because the material here, the fiber material.
During the breeding, the bacteria is fed on nutrients such as vitamins, starch, carbohydrates, calcium, and every food needed for dietary needs.
Every morning, one of us has to come and feed this product. This is a mixture of several nutrients, and that's what we add into the system.
A fresh batch of bacteria initially takes 7 days to mature.
We incubate the growth phase that takes about 7 days. If it's a fresh catch, it takes 7 days for it to become this highly populated.
Subsequent stages or phases take 24 hours.
That's a very high growth rate, and that's how we actually able to service so many clients using this small space.
A fresh batch of bacteria is needed after 6 months from the initial stage.
If you go for a long time without reintroducing a wild type, we call it wild type, which is a fresh catcher, then the viability of the microorganism goes down.
After the breeding comes the harvesting.
You see the white catcher, the white cream on top of this container, that is bacteria that is ready for harvesting. And when it is ready for harvesting, one way to do that is you come and scoop everything.
Here, a sieve and container is needed to safely collect and store the bacteria. After the harvesting, the bacteria is dried for easy transport and long shelf life.
Where you dry the bacteria in a specialized manner that it does not kill the bacteria with too much heat, nor does it leave it damp. Because if it's damp or moist, it's going to rot.
The dried end product is weighed and packaged in khaki paper bags, while the liquid extract is also packaged but in jerry cans. The bacteria is used to eliminate bad odor in sewerage systems, water bodies, farmlands, stables, and septic tanks.
So there are so many industries today, hotels and institutions of higher learning, including municipalities that are depending on our product for waste management. If we take it to a factory that is having problem with the smell, that's odor, they are not able to meet the discharge parameters that the NEMA allows you to discharge to the environment by just using this amount. This one single fermentation vat, it is able to sort them out for a whole month or 2 months or 3 months. In an instance like a school, the same volume actually would sort out waste for about 500 pupils for the whole year.
The bacteria is also used in the recycling of water, which is eventually used for farming.
Reporting for KBC from Kitengela in Kajiado County, I'm Nisi Imano.
Thank you, Nisi Imano, the use of bacteria for environmental conservation. Thank you for that. Now, that report takes us to another break right here on Sunday Express. Thank you so much, Peter Wanjala from Bungoma, watching together with Kelvin. You're both watching in Bungoma County. We appreciate you. Kwame Nkuruma from Homa Bay County, watching together with your family. Also, thank you. Keep interacting with us on social media at KBC Channel 1. Use the hashtag Sunday Express. Don't go too far. When we come back, more coming on the sports news.
Do you have a news story to share with KBC? Get in touch swiftly on email news@kbc.co.ke or call 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124.
Our arts and entertainment industry has evolved over the years.
It is at such times that our destinies are written. Will we rise up in courage or die in cowardice?
Who are the movers and shakers in film and theatre? Get trendy as we review locally produced films and stage drama every Wednesday at 9 p.m. on Cinemas and Theatre.
Brought to you by the Kenya Film Commission. Film Kenya, Capture Africa.
Kingdom will note this.
Oh, don't give a damn what they think.
He has the J-Dragon fan. I guess. He must be Echo.
Would you like to teach him a lesson?
Well, now Vihiga Bullets, of course, held Lindsay Stars to a barren draw, while Kariobangi Sharks lost to Bandari in a KPL match played today. Internationally, of course, a couple of leagues coming to an end today. Richard Munga with the Day Sports. A lot of updates in regards to sports today. But first, let's get the sports segment underway with our top story tonight, whereby Kenya Commercial Bank women's volleyball team humbled ASEC Mimosa of Ivory Coast by 3-0 as the Africa's Club Championship got underway in Kelibia, Tunisia. Meanwhile, Kenya Rugby Union received a 5.9 million shilling sponsorship from BetSafe, which will help them fund the ongoing Kabeberi Sevens.
KCB humbled ASEC Mimosa of Ivory Coast by 3 straight sets as the African Women Club Championship got underway in Kelibia, Tunisia. The bankers, led by Kenyan international Mercy Mohim, Sharon Chepchumba and Eddie Sowisa, won the first set 25-13 before bagging the second set 25-12. KCB went on to win the third set 25-10 to send an early warning. In another match, Prisons Kenya humbled CN Spikers of Nigeria by 3 straight sets. KCB, Prisons Kenya and Kenya Pipeline are representing Kenya at the Continental Showpiece. Meanwhile, the last edition of the National Junior Under-15 Swimming Championship will be held from the 3rd to 5th of June in Nairobi County.
The 15-year-old Junior Swimming Championship will attract more than 500 swimmers, aiming to grab the available slots in the upcoming Commonwealth Games. Secretary General of the Nairobi Swimming Federation, Ken Karani, stated that the competition is important, calling swimming clubs to come forward and participate. Elsewhere, the Kenya Rugby Union received a 5.9 million shilling sponsorship from BetSafe, which will help them organize the ongoing KBC Sevens rugby tournament in Nairobi. All participating teams will receive a cash prize of 500,000 shillings, with the winner of each group receiving 100,000 shillings. The overall winner of the competition will receive a cash prize of 500,000 shillings, while the runners-up will receive 300,000 shillings.
You know, the clubs through the pandemic has been a tough 2 years, and hence it's for us, part of our CSR initiative was to also to support these rugby clubs to ensure they host a successful tournament.
National women boxing team to the just concluded IBA World Championship arrived back home today from Istanbul, Turkey. Kenya will have to launch another charge for medals in the global showpiece after coming short this year.
Nashukuru sana kamati ya Olimpiki kwa kuweza kukit team na viongozi wetu wa shirikisho ama ngumi za ridhaa BFK kupatia support yote ili wachezaji waweze kushowcase ama kuonyesha talanta yao katika mashindano haya.
Kenya has never earned a podium finish since the inception of the championship in 2001. Kenya's medal of full light heavyweight pugilist Elizabeth Adiego lost on points to Turkey's Elif Ghana in the last 8 to ensure the national team bowed out empty-handed. The championship attracted 310 boxers from 72 countries. For Sunday Express, I'm Daniel Mwendwa.
Dan Mwendwa, of course, thank you for that report. Elsewhere, Chicago Marathon second runners-up Eric Kiptanui and Rotterdam champion Stella Barsosio will lead Kenyan charges at the Commonwealth Games in July and August. The team of 8 athletes promised to write history by winning the highest number of medals for the country in the club games slated for July 28th till August 8th in Birmingham, UK. Other athletes named in the team are Jonathan Korir, who finished second at last year's Enshade Marathon, Philemon Kacheran, who placed third in Valencia last year, and reigning Fukuoka International Open champion Michael Githai. The women charges comprise two-time winner of Standard Chartered Nairobi Marathon Purity Changwoni, Margaret Wangare and Maureen Chepkemoi, who is fresh from winning Enshade Marathon in April. NOC President Paul Tergat expressed optimism of a stellar performance by the team.
In terms of what we have been taken through, in terms of their preparation, in terms of the performance and all that, I think we have the very best team to represent the country during the Commonwealth Games. So the only thing that maybe I was trying maybe to urge these athletes is to tell them that congratulations, you have earned a very prestigious place in the national team to carry the flag of the country, and we are going to make sure that we will provide everything that they need.
Earlier in matches played today in the Kenya Premier League, we had Tusker, Tusker FC playing out to a 2-2 draw against Nzoia Sugar. Vihiga Bullets held Ulinzi Stars to a barren draw, while Bandari FC from Mombasa, of course, beating Kariobangi Sharks 2-0. That was match day 31, meaning we have 3 more rounds of matches before the KPL season comes to a close. Now, internationally, 10-man RB Leipzig lifted the German Cup at the third attempt, winning 4-2 on penalties, having fought back to draw 1-1 against Freiburg after extra time at Berlin's Olympic Stadium. Leipzig coach Domenico Tedesco finishes his first season with a trophy, having replaced Jesse Marsch last December.
Hit long towards Hurler, and now it's a foot race between Hurler and Halstenberg.
Christopher Nkuku equalized in 90 minutes after Leipzig had Marcel Halstenberg sent off his own with a trophy, having replaced Jesse Marsch last December.
They lift their first ever major trophy, and they will hope it is the first of many.
Meanwhile, 2 goals in 3 extra time minutes by substitutes Ryan Jack and Scott Wright won Rangers the Scottish Cup against Hearts and eased the pain of the Europa League final defeat last weekend. The Ibrox side claimed the trophy for the first time in 13 years after Jack crashed a shot in off bar from the edge of the box before Wright finished low past Craig Gordon.
Ryan Jack with the strike at long last that put Rangers in front in the Scottish Cup final. Knocked down, but Rangers have risen. It does come to Scott Wright. What a finish! Deadly Scott Wright, and that might just be the killer blow. The wait may have been too long, but Rangers' name is back on the Scottish Cup.
All right, and that's how we wrap it up. But the English Premier League came to an end today, Richard.
Yes.
I mean, what are we looking at?
Oh, you're looking at heartbreak and you're looking for triumph, depending on which side you are on, of course. Liverpool, a spirited comeback, of course, against Wolverhampton Wanderers. But that was not enough to win them the EPL title this season, which is good news for most, if I'm being quite honest. That is after Manchester City, of course, beat Aston Villa 3-2, coming down from 2-0, winning 3-2 and winning, of course, the EPL title 2021-2022 season. And, well, Chelsea and Tottenham Hotspur finished third and fourth, respectively. Arsenal, despite winning 5-1, they're still going to be playing Europa League.
Be nice.
Yeah, with no, Manchester United too are going to be in the Europa League next season. And the teams that have been relegated, you have Burnley, Watford, and Norwich City. And that's not the only league coming to a close today, the La Liga, the Serie A, and it's good news for AC Milan fans. The few of them we have in Kenya, of course. AC Milan beating Sassuolo 3-0 to win their first Serie A title in 11 years. Inter Milan finished second, Napoli third, Juventus, of course, was fourth, meaning Cagliari, Genoa, and Venezia have been relegated from Serie A and are now going to be playing in Serie B next season. And to wind up, of course, if you allow me kindly, a lot of football happening today, but let's switch gears a bit to the Formula One fans, motorsport fans, of course. Max Verstappen won the Barcelona Grand Prix today, and of course the result means that he has gone ahead. He is in position 1 in the championship this season. That is 6 points ahead of Ferrari's Charles Leclerc. Verstappen won Barcelona today. Sergio Perez, of course, number 2. George Russell of Mercedes, number 3. Carlos Sainz, Ferrari, number 4. And Hamilton finished 5th and was voted, of course, driver of the day, which for Mercedes fan doesn't mean much. Now, Serfine, if you allow me, let me just put a cap on sports.
Yeah, please
news
do.
Right there tonight.
But what a way to end it. Thank you so much for the updates, by the way. And a lot of, an interesting debate going on about Arsenal and Manchester United online. But I'll leave that for later. We have to wrap up the bulletin right now. Thank you so much for creating time. Munga?
Yeah, of course, I will not weigh into the Arsenal-Manchester debate because at this point it's pointless. Number 5 and 6, so nothing really to talk about, nothing to write home.
Be nice
about. And yeah, well, that's how we wrap up our sports news tonight. I'm Richard Munga. Do have a good night. Karen Kibet will be taking over when it comes to Matter Sports starting tomorrow. Do have a good night.
Thank you so much for catching Sunday Express tonight. My name is Achieng Oma, and our sign language interpreter has been Lenso Dingo. Have a good night, and God bless.
Some people dream of success, while Good Morning Kenya is here to make that happen. Start your day with authentic updates that can make or break your day. Make sure you know before you go. Join Jane Wamboi, Doreen Okello, Regina Manyara, and Victor Olo to share every morning with you. It doesn't matter where you are. You can always access Good Morning Kenya from different devices. Good Morning Kenya. Every Monday to Thursday from 6:30 to 10 a.m. on KBC Channel 1.
Yes. Mami nakuuliza. Sisi tulifight waboberu tugawa tugiwa na gina chatabare tugawatoa. Kumbe tumebakisha mabeberu ngine hapa.
Yaani mimi ni beberu. Ushai pepetwa na mwanamke wewe?
Nipepeta kama moto sasa.
Mimi niko na wageni huko unaniweza hapa hivi alafu unaniambia ujinga.
Umetegea chovu ya anagula mabuyu na asali. Ukaona ugule pesa uchefujie.
Ukalia nini? Sistuli hapa hivi yenyewe.
Sistuli huko ndani hapo uweze kalia hapo ni makosa. Hakuna
wewe unakani kama hauko sawa hapa upstairs.
Sasa baba una
Hey, Charles!
The Heavenly Kingdom will note this.